What is up, everybody? We are back here today with another video, and in today's video we're going to do a little something different. We're going to do like a podcast type of video, but basically you're just going to be looking at me the whole time because I feel like I've never really told you guys or shown you guys like who I am. It's always been behind like Minecraft or a video game or a song or something like that, and I'm really into like really interesting things. I think stuff that not everybody's into. Like, of course, I like to collect vintage video games. I like making music. I like doing arts. But in terms of philosophical ideas and the way I kind of view society and the system particularly is what I really am interested in. You know, before I ever started writing songs, I first got into this weird view of the world. I wouldn't really call it weird, but kind of alternative view of the world when I was really young. And that kind of made me an outsider because I didn't kind of see the world like everybody else. And I wouldn't really say that was a good or a bad thing. It's definitely shaped me when I was a kid, but I really think that people can break out of their conditioning and indoctrination. I really think people can do that. I really think people can change. I come from a weird family, being like a Hispanic race, but I'm white. You know what I'm saying? I never really had something to identify with, if that makes sense. Like, I remember when they asked us in school what race we were, and I just was like, I don't know. I'm just a human, yo. You know what I'm saying? So there was things like that. You know, the only thing I seemed kind of interested in as a kid were these big books about occult knowledge. And it's interesting because when I say occult, most people think of like witchcraft and dark magic and all this weird spiritual stuff. But what I've learned about occult is that the word occult simply means hidden. That's what I was really interested in, and is what is hidden? What do you mean by hidden? And I remember I had this big book one day and I wanted to take it to school, but my grandfather, he was like, no, don't do it. Don't do that. And looking back on it, he was right, because one, I'm a 7-year-old child that wants to bring this humongous, you have to be an adult to really understand what it's talking about, because I didn't understand until I wouldn't say recently, but recently I have been way more mellow about it. I was really paranoid about it like for a long time. Well, that's not true, because going through high school, I was not interested in school at all. I knew school was not the path for me. For some people it is, you know, but for me it wasn't, because I knew that school wasn't it's all made up. It's all a made up thing. I have a job now. I get by with the job, whatever. I'm not making $100,000 a year, whatever, but I wasn't necessarily working or thinking about that pay salary. I was more thinking about how I individually wanted to live my life. And school was not a part of that. So I would come to school with this attitude like I don't care, and the teachers started not to like me. I started to like rebel and get into trouble, kind of. All my friends were troublemakers. I was throwing parties and having all this crazy stuff happening in my life. I was totally drenched in the collectivism. There was a point where I was like, I want to join this group of friends, so I'm just surrounded by people. It wasn't until about I was 22 I had a few psychotic breaks, and it took about 3-4 years until my mind healthy. I can genuinely say I have like a healthy mind. I'm not as paranoid anymore. I'm not as worried about what happened. That's all I can say. And whatever kind of comes. But for the most part, that's off the topic. topic. What I want to talk about is kind of like the hidden rulers or the hidden class and why people think it's a conspiracy or conspiratorial talk. For the most part, most of us go to a public school in America. We're all conditioned, regimented. It just depends how you look at it. This was just how I kind of looked at it. How I saw it was you had to show up on time, go through 12 years of your life. 12 years of growing up, going to school, and they're shaping you and molding you and churning you into a perfect little thing for not even capitalism, socialism, anyism. It's for the group, for their collective. And I knew that's what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be that. And I saw music and art and video and philosophy and just kind of saying no to them. I'm going to do this on my own. I kind of was in like a broken home at home. So like my parents were fighting with each other. They didn't really like pay attention to me and my brother. So while I was going through this by myself, I was slowly learning about the system. Like I knew the system was there. I knew the occult was always there, but I didn't really dive into it until about I was 22, until I was kind of like, don't want to be around anybody anymore. It was really when I was 21 and then I turned 22, and that was when I was like, I just don't want to be around anybody anymore. I really want to focus on what's like not what life is, but who I am. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do in life. They're so quick to jump into the group and get lost in the group that they forget to really look at who they are, who you are as an individual, who you are. What does that mean to you? And I took years, 4 or 5 years, and looking into who I am kind of led me down this path of research, because you start thinking about a lot of different things, like who I am, what is the voice inside my head, and you start questioning things like consciousness and morality. What is the truth and what is a lie? You know what I'm saying? You get the gist of what I'm saying? While I'm going down this path, I just remember my grandpa. He put me on this guy, this really fantastic guy. And this was the first guy that I really kind of got into for the last few years now. His name is Michael Tsarian. This was the first guy other than my grandpa that felt like was speaking what I was thinking, but not in a way of like, follow me. More in a way of like, this is the truth. Like wringing me by the neck, like, this is the truth. Listen to me. The truth will set you free, but a lie will always keep you caged up. The truth will set it free, will set it all free. And that's what it all comes down to. And like what I kind of discovered who I am as an individual was I just wanted to be free. And I thought, why can't I be free? Why can't I be free? And that's when I kind of discovered Michael Tsarian. The first Michael Tsarian program I listened to was The Age of Manipulation. It's like a 3-4 hour DVD, but that DVD, I watched that 3 or 4 times. It wasn't until I was doing psychedelics and then it all started going to my head like, and I had psychosis and, I'm smoking weed every night and really messing up my health. Michael Tsarian then kind of opened my eyes to other researchers like Jordan Maxwell or David Icke or even G. Edward Griffin. Those 4 guys right now are who I've been listening to. And these are really underground guys, especially Michael Tsarian. Michael Tsarian is super underrated. He knows so many sources to just go to. Like I was just listening to Ayn Rand talk about the collective on YouTube, and it's like, oh yeah, I know her. Freaking Michael Tsarian talks about her, and then you're in a rabbit hole of Ayn Rand. I want to be in that field, but it's almost so pointless talking to people about this because it's immediately, conspiracy. Right winger. He's got red walls, white winger. You know, growing up, I thought I was going to be a lefty. I kind of realized like the left is a collective, same as the right. But that's what I'm ultimately against is collectivism. But I would say once I listened to Jordan Maxwell was when I realized that I'm an apolitical person. I don't like politics. I have a friend that tells me that it will always be inedible, but we don't know that. And that's all about I gotta say today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Peace.